Hey everyone, welcome to Guitar Man's first Q&A. And that's all there is to it. Alright, by the way, if you have any questions you'd like to ask me still, let me know below. And, alright, let's get started. First question is, how did you first start playing? So in 2016, I had expressed that I wanted to play guitar. And so, everyone living in the house knew it. So then it was Christmas of that year. All of the gifts were done unwrapping. And my cousin says, wait right there. I've got one last gift for you. He runs to his room, runs back out with this thing. This is the guitar he gave me. He grew too big for it, and, well, I guess I was the perfect candidate. I don't know. Things started kicking off in 2017, though, when my sister would get out her ukulele and kind of teach me on it. It was tuned the same as a guitar, but without the top two strings, so I think that's a baritone ukulele. So with that, she would teach me G, C, and D7, and then she'd kind of quiz me on it with transitions and chord memory and all that good stuff. So that's how I really got started. There were a couple people at church too who inspired me, encouraged me to keep going, and backed me up, so that was great. And then my final big push actually came from country music, which kind of sounds corny, but I'll explain it. I was really listening to a ton of country back then, people like Randy Travis, Brooks and Dunn mostly. Also listened to some George Strait every now and then, the king. And so, one year, 2018, I wrote Randy a letter asking, hey, when I become a professional musician, do you mind if I cover a couple of your songs? And they said yes. He and his wife replied. They said yes, go ahead, do it. And I'm underselling it, but I was pretty psyched. I was excited to get that letter. And yeah, so a year later, I met Randy. And it was cool. We got signed books, his book. And yes, they were legitimately signatured. And we got a couple pictures. I shook his hand. Very awesome day. And then after that, I talked to his wife. I said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but some time ago I wrote you guys a letter, kind of explained who I was, and she said, oh yeah, I remember you. She told me, when you get those two songs recorded, you let me know. You send them to us. I'm like, oh, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am, I will do. Sure thing. Yes ma'am. Yeah, so at that point I realized if I want to get in the program, I got to drive all I am into it. I got to start working hard. And I have been. I didn't always want to be a solo guitarist, a lead guitarist, but I was just fine playing chords. But hey, life takes you in different directions, and it sure did for me. Alright, so thanks for that question, and on to the next one. Alright, next question. How is it different playing bass and a guitar? So I kind of have an unfair point of view to it. I look at this thing from a guitar player's point of view, which I don't think is fair, but whatever. The way guitar players see it, it's got the same strings, E, A, D, G, octave down, and that's basically how we see it. I take what I learned on the guitar and apply it to bass. However, a big difference is how you play the bass and guitar. You can do stuff like walking bass lines. You can do octaves. Which sound pretty cool. You can do a root 5 method. Now you try playing those things like that on a guitar. That probably wouldn't work. Nobody would be interested. But you play it on bass and it's perfect. Again, that's just a guitar player looking into it. I'm trying to be fair here. I'm trying to think like a bassist, but I'm not sure how well it's working. I might need a couple more experienced bass players to chime in for me. Help me out there. So, that's what the difference is for me, aside from the obvious. Alright, thanks for that question. And moving on. Next question is, how long did it take you to get this good at guitar, acoustic and electric, and bass? So again, it started in 2016, and it took me about 3 years to get the whole rhythm guitar part down. But even then, I was trying to learn little solos, chord embellishments, stuff like that. In 2020, someone taught me a couple scales, the major scale and the minor pentatonic scale. And that's what really got me started, putting them into practice. And in 2022, I started to kind of break out of the boxes, started phrasing more freely, trying to cover more of the neck. And that kind of happened thanks to the blues. Learning Pride and Joy, Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff, ZZ Top, B.B. King, different things. And now, a couple weeks ago, I started picking up country. Started learning by Levi Clay with this book right here. Started learning using this book, and it's being helpful. I know I've improved thanks to his teachings and different YouTube videos he's done. So it's working. It's starting to work, and that's basically the timeline. The great thing about learning guitar, though, the pyramid of learning isn't like this. There's no peak of knowledge to fill in. It's always going to be like this. You start here, and then it just grows. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's no end. And that's really the great thing about it. So, with all hopes, it's just going to get better. All right. Next one. What is your opinion on Daniel Thrasher? The person who asked me this know why I gave that face. In all honesty, though, I think he's a good piano player. He's funny. Just don't ask him to do a joke. That'll be weird. And he's good at writing stuff, good at playing, telling jokes. He's got a pretty swell voice too, which is great. So yeah, I think overall he's a pretty good dude. However, he needs to work on his grammar more. That's all I'm gonna say. He might get us in trouble if he doesn't. Alright. Next question is, do you have a Discord server? Yes, I do. I'm not gonna tell you exactly where it is. I can tell you where to find it, but you might have to dig for it a bit. Alright, so I even named it after a Brad Paisley song, and I'll play some for you. Tell the truth, play some chords, pay your dues and praise the Lord. Cadillacs and 4x4s, it's the city of music. That's my Discord server, City of Music. It's nice, it's laid back, mainly because nobody's active. But yeah, I'll kind of tell you at the end where you can find a link to join it. Alright, so, moving on. Next question is, who is your favorite human? Not human, human. Apparently there's a difference. I don't know what a human is, but I'll try my best to answer. I love my family. I do. I love them. I know they drive me nuts sometimes. A lot of times, oftentimes. All the time. Okay, they drive me nuts, make me angry. But I love them. I do. And they're probably my favorite. Yeah, just please don't hurt my family. I've got pent-up anger issues that I don't want to take out on you. That's kind of where I stand. So, those are my favorite humans. And also asking, who is your favorite YouTube guitarist? I'm probably going to get his name wrong, but he is Mikey Piscopo. Piscopo? Yeah, I definitely got that one wrong. So, with him, he's a curious one. He loves what he's doing. He's really great at it. Always coming up with questions and finding answers to them. Destroying amps, making his neighbors angry. He's fun. And he's not repetitive. And that's kind of my problem with a lot of YouTube guitars. They're just doing the same old thing. They'll make like 200 shorts and it's all the same shredding lick. I'm not into that. But Mikey, he's well versed. He's fun. And I really enjoy watching his stuff. Alright, last question. We're ending out on a banger here. What was it like being beat up by pacifist monks? Such a horrible tragedy. I try so hard to forget about that time. So horrible. Hey, stop laughing. A woman's suffering is no funny thing. Alright, well, thank you guys for all the questions. Again, if you have any more, let me know down below. And peace out. God bless. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.